going on good ground. In fact, arguably could be even better. You could see Walking Clover that's just her. She's just on it a little bit. And Coast Guard Station, the other one, hoping that get his career back on track after a disappointing effort last time. But he's only an 8-year-old and plenty of time to do so. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I can't really see there's going to be that much pace on. The old Deutschmeister likes to make the running if he can. The horses were in brilliant form yesterday, so he's going to be up there. And Frayed Arms as well. Let's see how they go. Oh, messy start.
Jumping away then with just over 2 miles to go for the LK Bennett Handicap Chase. 13 to jump. Martator and Frayed Arms, the first two to show. So they pop over fence number 1. Over it in third place is the Last High King. Fourth, and a bit keen, is Coast Guard Station. And Walking Clover well and truly held up the mare at the back end of the field. So it was rather after you, Claude, at the start, and as a result, they're racing at quite wide intervals and in one straight line down towards fence number 2. And the leader, Martator, leading up under Charlie Deutsch. Here's the second then, Martator from Frayed Arms, who had an outing at the Cheltenham Festival a couple of weeks ago. The Last High King is in third place. Coast Guard Station is pulling very hard indeed, and now restrained in last place as Walking Clover goes fourth. Martator at the next. Lovely jump from Martator. Martator allowed to dictate terms here, and seems to be quite happy with that arrangement as well. Martator jumping neatly and bowling along with the lead. By 3 lengths to Frayed Arms in second place. Then comes the Last High King third. In fourth place, Walking Clover and Coast Guard Station in fifth and last position. And still in one straight line at 2 or 3 length intervals, they head towards fence number 4. The line of 4 fences racing away from the grandstands, the third of which is a ditch. But 2 plain fences to come next. Martator over safely from Frayed Arms. In third place there is the Last High King. Walking Clover had to be just taken off his heels in fourth. Coast Guard Station still the back marker. Martator still jumping nice and straight and true, accurately as well. And now an open ditch they'll take. This is the first open ditch in the race. Fence number 6. Martator leading from Frayed Arms. So Martator into this ditch. At it, jumping really neatly. Really nice and accurate and straight all the way round so far. Martator from Frayed Arms. The Last High King, Walking Clover and Coast Guard Station. As they come towards the 7th, this is the last on this section of the track. Martator over safely. Frayed Arms in second place. The Last High King was just squeezed away from that fence with Walking Clover and Coast Guard Station. Coast Guard Station has been free throughout the first half of the race and jumping out to the left as well, which hasn't really helped him. He's still in last and a little bit of a distant last as well. As Martator sweeps them around the bend and uphill now to the finish. 6 more fences left to take in this LK Bennett Handicap Chase. Martator, Frayed Arms still in his wing mirrors, 3 lengths away. Slightly untidy jump from the Last High King. Walking Clover switched to the outside, and Coast Guard Station again a bit scruffy with his jumping, taking the 5th from the finish there. Martator led. Frayed Arms and Walking Clover, 2nd and 3rd now, the Skelton pair. Behind them, the Last High King in 4th place, and still jumping left is Coast Guard Station. And that was the final ditch, 4 out. Now another plain fence, and Martator still swinging along. Martator with Frayed Arms landing within 2 lengths of him. Walking Clover's in 3rd, but now just driven along. Likewise the Last High King, and is Martator just pressing a few buttons here. Coast Guard Station's trying to improve from the rear end of the field. But Martator, the one to catch, very much so, coming down towards the second last. Martator from Frayed Arms, who's really driven. Coast Guard Station's into 3rd now. Martator was in a little bit tight to that fence there, and Vest for the first time, Charlie Deutsch has to go to work on him. Frayed Arms has not been fully shaken off, and Coast Guard Station staying on would be the surprise of the race if he could get there. Martator at the last, lovely, fast, accurate jump. Martator maintained a 2.5 length lead over that one from Frayed Arms, and Coast Guard Station still finish off the race pretty strongly, but a lovely all the way ride from Charlie Deutsch there on Martator. success for Venetia Williams' yard. Coast Guard Station ran on pretty well for second place. Fred Arm next, followed by Walk in Clover. And the last High King was indeed last.